All right.
Okay.
Ready?
We're ready. Let's roll.
Well, we've got the divider pillow here, so we don't
Okay.
activate any sensory issues. We got a little space period between us.
Okay.
Hey, everybody. Connie Lou here. We thought we would do a video for you guys today to talk a little bit about everyday considerations you can have when you meet somebody in your workplace, in school, or someplace else that may identify themselves as autistic. What's the matter?
I look like a refrigerator. Look, I look fatter than I am. I know that the camera puts on 10 pounds, but in my case, they just put on like 50 pounds. How do we change that?
Okay, so all right, so do you see the difference in the way I'm sitting
So
here?
like you're like a model?
So I'm making a line here. I'm making a line. So this is what you're doing. So you're sitting straight on.
Yeah.
Look at me, like watch my body change.
Okay.
I'm sitting straight on. Look how much wider I look. Like I'm sitting straight
yeah,
on.
you do a little.
And then if I lean back, I
Wow.
look even wider. And then if I put my arms up here, that changes everything, doesn't it?
Yeah. Okay.
So what you want to do is you gotta sit on one buttock. You gotta kind of lean on one buttock.
One cheek.
One
But
cheek.
that looks like the one cheek. It's like, is she changing her position or is she?
Oh my, keep it clean.
Oh,
Keep it
yes,
clean.
yes. Okay, so you're telling me to just
So kind of lean.
lean on one cheek.
Now, is this gonna throw you for a loop if you lean in on me a little bit here?
Well, as long as no.
Okay. Lean on one cheek,
Okay.
and then what you want to do? If you can cross your leg over.
Which one?
You got knee issues.
Well,
So
big
you
deal.
can,
This one goes over this
outside
one?
knee goes over the inside.
Which one's outside?
Outside
Okay.
knee goes over the inside.
Okay, so this goes over
So
like
you
this.
got, is
Oops.
that going to hurt your knees?
Nope.
Because you got knee issues.
Okay.
Now look at that. And so then,
No, I still look big.
and then your arm, instead of being up here, you elongate yourself with having your arm. You did great. You did. That's much better. It's better. Do you like the way you look better or no?
No, I look just as big. Okay. Okay, let's just go on with that video. This is just going to down.
Okay. Sorry about that, folks. You'd think that we could stop it and do another take, but we don't like to do that. We like to do one take and one and done. One and done. So yeah, you can do the same thing and lean forward a
That's
little
like
bit
so
too.
feminine, foo-foo-y.
Yeah, well, you gotta be yourself. There you go.
No, look at this. Okay, anyway.
You
Let's
gotta
talk
be
about-
yourself. Okay, so people have been asking me, why am I making these videos on autistic behaviors with Deb on my channel when my channel is not teaching about autism?
We're close enough. No, we were.
I'm like, Jesus, even feels uncomfortable to me. Okay, so my content, what my usual content is trying to help people live more self-aware, to raise their consciousness so that we become more present, more self-aware, and kinder people living out in the world. So I think that Deb and I trying to navigate our friendship between an autistic person, and I won't say a person who's non-autistic because she says I'm sending off bells all the time that maybe I'm a little neurospicy myself, but a friendship between people whose brains operate differently, like ours, is something worth exploring and is a lot of fun, and a lot of people shy away from it from fear of the unknown, fear that they have a picture in their head of what autism looks like, and it's different for every person, right?
It is different for every person. And the one comment I wanted to make today, Connie, which was going to... I'm sorry. This is... I feel like getting you...
I'm like
box of
bracing
chocolates
myself.
and roses and
I'm bracing
things.
myself. Well, you know what? We're just
Okay. One of the points I want to make up, not make up, one of the points that, see, I'm getting thrown off.
I'm throwing her because I'm so close.
Well, this is new. This is like,
know.
whoa, this is, and...
Turn yourself sideways and you won't feel so close, maybe.
Well,
Okay.
you're leaning in.
I know.
Anyway,
Do your best.
Okay, my point is, one of the things I want to talk about, which has a spiritual connotation, is the fact that when I tell people when I first meet them, if it's going to be more than a 3-minute conversation, is I have autism, I'm not doing that because I'm just trying to, throw it out there. I'm doing it for a reason. And one of the biggest problems I find is because I look normal, I'm successful, is they say, oh, you must have overcome your autism because I don't see a trace of it. Good for you. And that is degrading and demeaning. And it's the
And
akin.
pretty stupid, actually, I have to add.
Well, it's denying me my truth, A, and B, it's like meeting a person with multiple sclerosis who has a cane, and them telling you I have multiple sclerosis, and you see them with a cane, and you reply by going to them and saying, well, your multiple sclerosis can't be all that bad because you're not in a wheelchair. That's just as demeaning, it doesn't give us any room for us to be authentic.
So what is the reason that you would identify yourself as autistic?
Because there's going to be problems with communications. There's going to be problem with styles. I might come across, we're methodical, we're factual, and sometimes we don't pick up on social cues. I might, like today was perfect example. You were so gracious. You had breakfast for me, and you brought out the milk in the beautiful little milk pitcher. I was like, oh my God, uranium glass. I love uranium glass. And Connie's like, what's uranium glass? I'm like, after the Manhattan Project and everything, all this uranium kicking around, they started making glassware, and it's radioactive, but only for about 1,000 years. You're okay as long as it's not chipped or cracked. It's fine. And you're like, oh my God, that might be too much information that an autistic person might just throw out there. And I didn't do it to scare her. I didn't do it to be mean. I was just excited to share that.
And that happens to us a lot. Like, she's such a wealth of information, and so she's just captivated by the fact that I have this 40s or 50s?
Late 40s, 50s, yeah.
So I have this uranium glass. Now, I inherited that from my grandmother, who died when I was 17, who raised me, who was my favorite person on the planet. So to me, that's a cherished, sentimental heirloom. And I had no idea that it was radioactive. And I only bring it out when I have company. It's a sugar bowl and a cream pitcher, and I'm making her tea, so I put the creamer in it, and so what hit me was, oh my God, I am serving out of radioactive dishware to my company. And she's like, oh, it's probably not that much or whatever. She's just missing
2% up to 25%.
She's like making light of the whole thing and talking about how pretty the glass is and that she has a collection of this stuff at home. And I'm like, I can't have this stuff in my house anymore and be serving people out of it anymore.
And what I did is I Googled it too to make sure that I wanted her to know that, listen, I'm not making this up. These are the facts. And when I Googled, I said, see, Connie, did you see that?
She didn't need to do that. She must require, other people must require more validation or something, because she is so honest, and everything she's ever told me has been, the brilliant things I hear are all proved to be true. So I just trust her and take her at her word.
A lot of people don't believe me.
She doesn't have to Google things for me, but she did show me. So I was serving out of radioactive.
It's not that bad, as long as it doesn't, like I told you, Connie, as long as it's not chipped to crack, you should be okay.
I know, but I wouldn't have known that. If it got chipped, I would have still been serving.
It still wouldn't.
Long story short, I'm gifting it to Deb because she can display it with her other beautiful pieces because she's not afraid of it. I won't have to worry about the radioactivity, and I won't have something that's a cherished heirloom go to somebody that I don't think so highly of and care about. So everybody wins.
Here, Deb, I care about you a lot as a friend. Here, some radioactive.
Take this radioactive. Well, I wouldn't have known it was if it wasn't for you.
That's what autistic friends are for, to enlighten you. And I didn't do that to alarm her. I was just like, oh my God, you've got uranium glass. That is beautiful.
So what I was thinking about is, if you get a new job, or you get a new coworker at your job, or you go start taking courses in college or whatever, you have people in your classroom, or you join a new organization and there's people there with autism, even if you don't, I'm holding myself up. I'm holding myself up with that.
This is going to be a problem with us.
Jesus, I got to get better cameras and stuff so that we can sit more appropriately. Anyways, it is not just if you have somebody with autism in your family that you need to pick them up. It's going to drive you freaking crazy if you let them sit there.
Sorry, I can't help that.
I know it. You'd be sitting there looking at those glasses and lose all focus in our conversation.
She's right, yeah.
I'm starting to know her a little bit. My point is, only people that used to ever talk about autism were people who had family members or children that had autism, and they talked about their struggles. But I think that we all need to open ourselves up instead of shying away from people who are who think differently or look differently, or different cultures, different races, different anything. Instead of shying away from it or making the unknown the other, part of becoming more self-aware in our world is for us to be curious and explore relationships with people who are not just like us. And let me tell you, this
It's
one is
hot
not
here.
just like this one is not just like me, that's for sure.
No.
Is it too? Well, what do you got on? Jeez, you got 3 layers of coats on. Look at a corduroy shirt. I don't know. We only got another minute or two. What would you like to put on this video for information if we only have a minute or two longer?
Well, I wanted some comments, if you could possibly have comments, what you'd like to know more, because this is what we're doing is we're navigating a whole new world, and Connie is learning. She's in the training to become a friend to an autistic person. Last week she failed the pop quiz with this, but hopefully for the midterm she'll do better. But I think Connie's doing a very valuable service by saying, let's put this out there, because it would be nice. We don't feel included in a world where we talk about inclusion. Everybody feels included. We don't. We seem to be singled out as like, no, we don't believe that you have a disability. We don't want to see it.
Or we don't like the disability because there are parts of it that make us uncomfortable.
And we're trying to navigate and say, no, it's very good to be with an autistic friend. Look, I saved you a lot of grief now with that uranium glass. That's good.
I gotta tell you. I shouldn't even say an autistic friend because everybody's so different. But this particular autistic friend, she cracks me up. And she shocks me all the time with the things that come out of her mouth. And then she's a great match for me because I'm pretty direct and blunt. She calls me blunt. And thinks that I lack diplomacy sometimes. But here's a place where that does not create friction. And in so many other relationships in my life, it creates friction. I'm just an Aries who's direct and can be a little blunt, and my diplomacy isn't always there. And it's not well received with the world because the world doesn't like you to shine the light of truth on the places that they're trying to hide. Somebody with autism is not hiding one goddamn thing. They are an open book. I know I said a cuss word, and
well, that's so inappropriate.
It's not inappropriate for me.
I know.
It's authentic to me. If it's inappropriate to you, I beg your pardon. You probably want to go to another channel because it's going to happen again. Because I like to cuss. I season my sentences with cuss words because to me it's like paprika and oregano when you're cooking. I just think it makes more flavor. So if that's not your cup of tea, you might want to move on and find a calmer channel because I'm bound to do that. But anyways, my point is, don't shy away from reaching out and getting to know the person in school or at work or in your organization with autism.
Don't be afraid of the word autism.
It's like an amusement park ride.
That's a great way of putting it,
isn't it? It's like an amusement park ride on a roller coaster because there's moments that it's a bit scary and you're not sure what's coming and what's going to happen or what's around the next bend. And there's other times it feels like it's the thrill of your life.
And good call on the glasses. I'll give you that one. That was really good.
I'm getting to
you
know
are getting
I
it,
knew
yeah.
that when she dropped those glasses on the floor, if she didn't pick them up right then, she would have been fixated on those, looking at them and lost
That's
content.
true. See, you're beginning to know.
Yeah.
So you just passed.
So I guess the titles of all of these are Making Friends with Autism, and that's what this kind of the theme
a spiritual
of this
journey,
is.
because we're both growing spiritually.
And that's what connection is, isn't it? It's a soul to soul.
I know, but when somebody does this, you know, you automatically assume it's a nonverbal signal that you have something on your face. So
no, my lip just needed to be wiped. I wasn't thinking about yours. I was taking care of myself. I was being completely self-absorbed here, which is another Aries thing. And actually, autistic people do that a little bit.
Well, I learned that social cue. People won't tell you to your face, hey, you got a booger or you got mustard on your face.
I would, but I would have paused the camera first probably and let you take care of that.
Okay.
Speaking of defects, if anybody's seeing this red in my eye and I look a little bit like a cyborg or something right now, I apologize for the aesthetics, but Wednesday I had cataract surgery, so I just got some broken blood vessels here that have not quite healed up yet. I didn't think you could see it from this distance, but there's people that put their videos on bigger screens, so I apologize if that's offensive to you. Do you see? You don't look like a refrigerator.
No, I don't anymore. No, I don't look like a model either. I don't want to. I look like a bull in a china shop. All right, thank you.
You know what? You are a sturdy, healthy, voluptuous woman.
Oh God, don't use that word voluptuous. That I think that Raquel Welch, and I think of Bo Derek. They're
chesty.
They're chesty. I'm chesty, but not anymore.
When I say voluptuous, I think of the old artists that did the statues where the women had big hips.
They're pleasingly
and all
plump.
That. The women have, they have a little more
Pleasingly
weight,
plump.
and they have
Yeah.
bigger hips and stuff.
Yeah, Rubenesque.
But we do, what's the word I'm looking for?
Rubenesque.
We go on and on and on. I digress. That's the word I'm looking for.
Well, we should end it then.
It's a postmenopausal thing. It's like sometimes I can't find a word, but it's on a track. I know if I'm just patient, it'll come around in a second. So we should say our goodbyes. Say goodbye, Deb.
Bye-bye.
And I'm going to say, have a kick-ass day, people. Peace out. I love you. Come see us again.